In a bustling diner on an ordinary afternoon, a black man walks in, ready to enjoy his meal after a long day. But what happens next is anything but ordinary. As he places his order, the manager steps in with a harsh tone and a condescending attitude. What starts as a simple interaction quickly escalates when the manager delivers a shocking insult that leaves the room in stunned silence. Customers exchange uneasy glances, and the man's reaction catches everyone off guard. But instead of retaliating with anger, he does something that no one could have anticipated. His response not only turns the situation on its head, but leaves the entire diner questioning everything they thought they knew about standing up to prejudice. What happens in the moments that follow will challenge your perspective and restore your faith in the power of dignity and resilience. Stay tuned to see how it unfolds. The manager's insult hangs in the air, heavy and cutting, as the other customers quietly watch, unsure of what to do. The man takes a deep breath, his expression calm but thoughtful, as if deciding on his next move. He looks around the diner, meeting the eyes of the silent onlookers, some of whom quickly glance away. Meanwhile, the manager, still standing behind the counter, smirks with an air of misplaced authority. It's clear this isn't the first time he's acted this way. As the tension builds, we begin to learn more about the man. His name is Marcus, a hard-working individual who's known for his patience and kindness. He's no stranger to adversity, having faced countless challenges in his life, yet he always handles them with quiet strength. This moment feels different, though. It's not just about him. This is about something bigger. What will Marcus do next? Marcus finally speaks, his voice calm but firm, cutting through the tense silence. "Excuse me," he says, looking directly at the manager. "Did I hear you right?" The question is simple, but it carries weight, forcing everyone to confront the situation head-on. The manager, unfazed, crosses his arms and responds dismissively, brushing Marcus off as though he doesn't matter. Meanwhile, a young server behind the counter nervously glances between them. She's clearly uncomfortable, but fear holds her back from stepping in. A family sitting nearby whispers among themselves, debating whether to say something or stay quiet. One man, seated alone by the window, seems especially uneasy, his fingers tapping on the table. Marcus's composure unnerves the manager, who tries to escalate the situation. But Marcus doesn't flinch. Instead, he does something unexpected. He pulls out his phone and begins recording. The room collectively holds its breath, unsure of what will happen next. As Marcus lifts his phone, the atmosphere in the diner shifts. The quiet hum of conversation dies down completely, replaced by an uneasy stillness. The manager's smirk falters for a moment before he regains his bravado. "Go ahead," he says, his voice laced with sarcasm. "You think that's going to change anything?" The young server behind the counter inches closer, her expression torn between fear and determination. She looks at Marcus, then at the manager, as if weighing the consequences of speaking out. Across the room, the man by the window stops tapping and leans forward, watching intently. Marcus, still calm, addresses the room. "You all saw what just happened," he says, his voice steady but resolute. "This isn't just about me. It's about standing up for what's right." His words hang in the air, and for the first time, the manager looks uneasy. The tension reaches its peak as Marcus takes another step forward, locking eyes with the man who insulted him. Every person in the room knows something big is about to happen, but no one can predict exactly how it will unfold. Just as the tension seems ready to snap, a voice rings out from the back of the diner. "Wait a minute." It's the man by the window, standing now, his chair scraping loudly against the floor. All eyes shift to him as he walks toward Marcus and the manager. There's a sense of purpose in his stride, and it's clear he has something important to say. "I saw everything," he announces, his voice steady but firm. "And I've seen this happen here before." The room buzzes with murmurs as his words sink in. It turns out this isn't the manager's first offense. The man, whose name is revealed to be Anthony, shares how he was once treated similarly at the same diner, but didn't have the courage to speak up at the time. The manager's confidence wavers further, and now the customers, emboldened by Anthony's courage and Marcus's unwavering stance, begin whispering louder. Some pull out their phones, recording the scene. The young server suddenly steps forward, her voice trembling but audible. "He's right," she says. "We've all seen it, but we've been too scared to say anything." The stakes couldn't be higher. The situation has turned into something far bigger than a single insult. It's a stand against a pattern of injustice. The air is thick with anticipation as everyone waits to see what will happen next. The diner is electric with tension as Marcus calmly lowers his phone, looking directly at the manager. "It's time someone holds you accountable," he says, his voice steady. Anthony steps up beside Marcus, his presence signaling solidarity. The customers murmur their agreement, and some even begin to applaud softly, their courage growing by the second. The manager, now visibly uncomfortable, tries to deflect. "This is my business, and I can run it how I want," he says, though his voice lacks its earlier confidence. But before he can say more, the young server steps forward again, clutching a folded piece of paper. "This isn't just your business," she says, handing the paper to Marcus. "It's part of a chain, and here's proof of everything he's done." Marcus unfolds it and glances at the document, an internal complaint the server had been too afraid to submit before. Marcus looks at the manager, then back at the crowd. "We've got more power together than he ever will alone," he says, his words igniting a wave of applause. At that moment, the door swings open, and another unexpected twist unfolds. A corporate representative, alerted by the rising number of recordings and social media posts, enters the diner. The manager stammers, trying to explain, but the representative listens to Marcus, Anthony, and the young server instead. By the end, the manager is asked to step down, and the customers cheer. As the dust settles, Marcus turns to Anthony and the young server. "This isn't just a win for today. It's a step forward for everyone." The crowd nods, and Marcus walks out, leaving behind a room full of people who've just witnessed the power of standing up together. As Marcus stepped outside, the cool air greeted him, a stark contrast to the heated moments inside. He took a deep breath, reflecting on what had just happened. It wasn't just about one man's actions, it was about showing that silence isn't the answer. Inside the diner, the energy had shifted. Anthony exchanged a few grateful words with the young server, who now stood a little taller, her fear replaced with a newfound confidence. The customers, too, seemed changed. Conversations filled the room, not about what they'd witnessed, but what they could do moving forward. Social media posts from the incident had already begun to spread, with Marcus's calm strength and powerful words resonating far beyond the diner walls. As he walked away, Marcus couldn't help but smile faintly. He hadn't just stood up for himself, had sparked something bigger, a reminder that unity and courage can dismantle even the deepest wrongs.